No.
All right, good morning, guys and ladies. How's everyone doing?
Good.
Good. Another cold day. January 26th, safety meeting. Just run through the stats real quick. Sorry.
That was quick.
That was way too Code of conduct item of the week: work in an environmentally conscientious manner. I think we're all, living in the state of Vermont. It's a very outdoorsy state. We have a lot of environment to play in and work in, and so just make sure we're all doing our part to take care of it. If there's any questions on what needs to be done, if you need to dispose of a chemical or something, we've got all the resources we need to make sure we do that right, and we maintain that part of the code. Safety news: 118 days without a recordable injury, so another full week. So that's great. We're up 145 is our record that we still we're approaching quickly to.
So where's Matt and his beard?
Right, Matt's beard is right there.
Guys, right here. Good.
Look at that. All right.
It's not really
nothing overly impressive yet, but time will tell. And then we've got an opportunity right now for anyone out in the company to volunteer and to become a member of the ECI Safety Committee. We've now had the committee around for 1 year, and so we're now going to kind of we like to phase in some new faces, some new personalities, and some new folks. So if it's something you want to be a part of or something you want to learn more, let one of us know. There's a description in your safety program manual, which everyone should have a copy of. If you don't, we can get you a copy, or going into the next slides, I can show you where to find one. But yeah, let us know if it's something you'd be interested in, and we can chat about it. So today we're going to actually roll out a new tool for everybody, a free tool that every single employee in here can have in their pockets. So how many here are smartphone users? I know it's not everybody, but how many? Whether it be your personal or work phone. So it's quite a bit of you. I know. What's that? Anyway, so whether you have one or whether if you have a smartphone, this is kind of mainly for you, but that doesn't mean that your buddy who's working next to you on the crew can't also be your point of contact for that information that I'm going to show you. So this is a mobile app that we've actually developed in-house with ECI people. Brendan and Andrew Dow kind of were the head nerds behind the development of this, if you will. But all designed in-house, specifically catered to our employees, the information that we're looking to get out to you and the purpose. So I'm just going to run quickly through what it is, the main purpose of it, and then we'll start flowing this into our kind of weekly discussions. So when we talk about a safety topic, we'll talk about here's how you can use this tool in your pocket to help remind you or help provide additional resources for you. So kind of right off the bat, the main purpose of the app is to provide instant access to information related to health and safety. So inside the app, we've got a lot of different bits of information from our corporate safety manual. Every single word that's in the hard copy that you all should have is in this application, very quickly and simple to navigate and to find. We've got other sources like links to all the SDS sheets that are applicable to all of our work. So a very simple navigation and you can find the actual SDS sheet, the full version of it, zoom in, zoom out, do what you need to do. We've got the ability to we've got links as well to other OSHA related things, other useful information, and as we work our safe work practices as well, those will all be linked into there. Another purpose: provide a means to communicate critical information to all employees. So we've got this alert function on the application. Everyone knows everyone can receive a text message right on your phone. Everyone is pretty. If someone texts you, I think usually for the most part it's taken as pretty. You look at it. It's not something that you let build up and you've got thousands of text messages the way some of us are with maybe emails or something like that. So we've got the ability for some of the leaders in our company to be able to send out an alert to the whole staff, one click of a button. If there's something that everybody should know, maybe there was an accident on the highway and we know we've got a lot of crew somewhere that are going to be driving by, and maybe it's, don't take that route. Or maybe we've got some crazy weather coming in, which I don't, this year, quite a number of instances where we had these crazy things just dive in on us. So we can actually get that message out to the whole company very quickly, one click of a button. It's very, very powerful. And then, any other type of, disaster, any type of, just a way to respond. Yes, Brian.
I could put on an alert saying I need help with water break, and it would go to everybody.
We haven't talked about that being a use of it, but I don't see why not. Absolutely. So then that's one thing I forgot to say, that this app is very at the very infancy stage, and so we're going to rely on everybody in the company to kind of contribute to where they think that may be a tool to help you do your job, whether it be trying to find people to who's available on a Sunday night to respond to a water break, or some other typical thing that you're dealing with in the field on day in and day out. And then another one, we also have forms. We can fill out forms on this app. We allow employees to report incidents, for example, submit photos of projects, and provide other feedback to the company. So right now, if you get into kind of a emergency type of an incident, we've got this long form to fill out. It takes forever, and we always forget to do it, and then the communication lacks. So we've now got a form in here, few entries of your text, click of a button to snap a photo if you need to snap a photo, and then you can log that incident and send it right to ECI loss control. And so then we can start managing that, recording it, making sure we get the right further notifications going, kind of following the flow of our typical incident reporting process. So that's one thing that one function of the app that will grow. So right now we've got three forms that we're able to submit, or able to utilize its incident reports from a utility strike all the way through to actually a serious injury. And then we've got we can submit photos of projects. So this is one that we're excited that we all we get to the fields, and we project managers and things take photos, and we put them in the folders. And I know some of the foremen are real good at sending emailing and texting photos of the jobs, which is great. So this is actually another way to get photos of the work while it's happening constantly by the guys doing it, and being able to share your work and kind of pat yourselves on the back for doing a good job. And so then we can take those photos, use it for our marketing, use it to display up here on the weekly project highlight. And then also we've got another form that we can actually submit comments, feedback back to the company, kind of anonymously to some extent. If you got something to say or some recommendation that you just want to get off your head, you think of it right then and there. You don't have to wait till you get back to the shop to do it. So. And then we've got a lot of other useful tools and information. We've got the full employee handbook is in there. If you've got any question on benefits, on overtime policy, on how to get paid for, how to get some money to put towards your work boots every period, that's all in there. The same booklet that everyone probably has a copy of, or has been at least given one at one point in time. We've got a picture. We've got a link to our facility map. So if you're trying to give someone directions on what building to go to, which I know if you're around the shop, it's day in and day out, you're trying to escort people around. So we can use that as a tool to help. We've got a preferred vendors list, which is work in progress, but we're going to try to get all of our, basically all the businesses out there that we have, accounts that we buy kind of bulk material with, that we shop at regularly. And be able to, if you're looking for a piece of material and you're somewhere out in Rutland, like, where do I go to find this? We'll get that list to you and make it very simple. So we're kind of optimizing our purchasing and where we're going to find them
directly off.
And you can just click of a button, you can make a call to them, or click of a button, you can get directions to where their office is or where their business is. And we'll go through more of these in live action as we kind of roll this out over the course of a few weeks. And then one thing that I think is really going to be helpful: job numbers. We're going to have a list of active job numbers that you can access. So if there's any question on, if you're, especially some of the truckers who are bouncing back and forth a lot of different jobs in a given day, that'll all be in your pocket. You don't need to wait till Monday morning to to get your time card, corrected when you get back to the office. We got a whole list of active job numbers right there, and then some other maps and other tools of that nature. So that's just kind of the very, very first release. So it's quite a bit of development that we've done to get to this point, but it's very, very in its infancy stages. So if anyone's got any helpful feedback, Brian, that was great. Anything little like that, we can start to utilize this to help us all in our day-to-day activities and tasks. So it's a free app, like I said. It's available for both Android users and Apple users. Android users, very easy to download. Just go to the Play Store and you can download it. Talk to Brendan, myself, Julia, Matt Orzalak. All of us can very easily help you get set up.
This week's weekly email saying how to install it.
That's right. And if you go to the weekly email that was sent out last night, you can find full directions for both of us. So make a point today to try to spend a few minutes. It takes less than 5 minutes to get it downloaded and start using it. And then any questions or let us know, and we'll come and make sure you get set up right. And then next week we'll start doing some actual demos, and we'll build it into, when we have we'll do our kind of our normal safety topic of the week, and then we'll show how maybe the app can remind us or help us work to that practice. Any questions or feedback on that? All right, okay, thank you.
Thanks, Joey. It's pretty cool stuff. Certainly, I can imagine it growing into more things that we can't even imagine right now. Already with the idea of calling in anyone who wants to respond to water break. So corporate announcements, W-2s have been mailed out. So look for them in the mail. And there's the app instructions. Fairly simple, at least for me. I'm on a Google Android system. And for technical tips this week, we're talking about the engineering scale. And we frequently use these for measuring scale distances on a drawing. Common scales are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60 inches per foot. And the same scales, you see there's a scale. Usually it's a triangular piece of instrument. You flip it over to the different scales, obviously. The same scales can be used in multiples of 10 times or higher. For example, the 10 foot per inch scale could easily be adapted to 100 or 1,000 or even larger. And drawings will frequently include a scale bar, we show here, that should be used whenever you're scaling something from a drawing, assuming there's one on it. Any good drawing hopefully would have that on there, which would tell you what it is. 1 inch is equal to 10, but you don't know what might have happened before you get that drawing, whether it's been shrunk or enlarged or distorted for any reason, so you can throw your scale right on there and confirm that the scale is correct by checking it against that scale bar. So this week we're talking about the Williston Essex STPG. It's a Special Transportation Project G. I'm not sure what G stands for. Signal, obviously, and it's about signalization. And we're contracting with V-Trans to upgrade 14 signalized intersections through Williston and Essex. And the scope of work includes the installation of underground utilities, so sleeves throughout the intersections through HDD methods, coordination with our subcontractor, East Coast Signals, and V-Trans for the installation of the traffic signals and associated equipment, design and installation of all mast arm pole foundations, and what about traffic control plans too, right? Another big piece of it always. So including installation of the traffic control and managing it and everything. So the photos featured below highlight some of the HDD operations on Mark Bonnet's crew at Connors Way, Route 2A near Taft's Corners. And they're using the 3020 to install a sleeve under Route 2A, right near all the busy area like Men's Warehouse and the other, the coffee place there. It's right next door. It's a crosswalk. I don't think I've ever seen anybody walk across that crosswalk. And what's that, a 10-inch sleeve? 12-inch sleeve. They pulled in. Kind of hard to work this time of year and this kind of material, but we're able to do it. There, Men's Warehouse. So, neat little project. We got 14 intersections. We've done, what have we done? 5 or 6?
Done 8.
8. Okay.
Just signal work, and now the heavy work is taking place now.
Yeah. So previously it was down there, Talcott Road, and 2 over by where the Vermont gas staging area was. The intersection this side, which is with Boxwood coming into Zephyr, and then there was over at the 89 interchange too. So these ones to think of. Everything else, there's this one. There's down by 289 in Essex and 15, all that whole area with a few different intersections there. And let's see, anything else?
That's pretty much it, those 2
Yeah.
stretches.
Yep. So the idea is to bring all the signals in the area upgraded to the newer technologies that we saw installed by Kabricki on their work, and then our earlier work this season. And then we got another contract coming up that we have for the Essex signalization, and that's over at the other end of 289 and 2A over by Rail Park. And then from the archives, here we are at the Vermont House Sidewalk Foundation. That's the building at the corner of St. Paul and Main Street down by the Flynn Theater. And the problem there for the owner of the building was that some of their building extended underneath the sidewalk. And that became a real maintenance problem. And eventually they decided they would block off the wall and fill that all back up. So basically their foundation wall got moved over in line with the building. Some of these, and I think it was like in the older days, like you had a coal chute and that kind of thing from the sidewalk. So it was all a lot of open vaults underneath the sidewalk, which of course now can be quite a pain to maintain. We excavated, shored up the sidewalk and built the wall, and then tore down the sidewalk and backfilled it up. That was back a few years ago, not too long ago. So that's what we got. Hopefully everyone can successfully download their app. I can see it having a lot of uses, so it'd be good to be all connected that way. Have a good day out there. Jeff Barber. Brian Martell. Mike Bishop.
Zach McCowan. Toby Moreau. Ben Munson. Mike O'Brien.
Better light. Okay, Brian Koda.
Matt Pickering.
Brian here. Yep.
Adam Piper.
There's Mike Covey. There's Mike. And Greg Farr.
Chris Coppin.
There's Greg. I'll put his check there.
That's Brett.
David Forcier.
Someone said Brett.
There you go.
Thank you.
And
Greg Farr.
Gene.
Hey, I heard it again. I get 2 checks today.
Ryan Harrington.
Corey Rooney.
Luke.
Sean Rowe. Joe Severy. Kevin Stedman.
Jerry Johnston.
Jonathan Sherwin. Larry Sullivan.
Thank you.
And Steven Johnson.
Richard Ward. Pat Wells.
Marty. Jerry. And Sean.